Hello, this is Jim Tech Buzz. I'm here to give you a quick overview of the Nextbase 3223 GW. Okay, so a lot of features on this are pretty much the same as they are in the 522, but not the 122. The 122 is all touch, the menus shaved down quite a lot, and this has pretty much a lot of the same of the 522. So on the bottom here you can see your little icons, your Bluetooth, your voice, battery, SOS and parking mode. So on your live view here on the phone, you'll get an option to connect to live view, which is basically what you're seeing there, and that's going to play on the phone if you want it at any time, which is pretty handy enough if you want to have that. And then you connect to other modules as well, like the rear camera, which we've done recently. So you also have an SOS function, which we'll go into in a minute. You'll have your home, your library and your dash cam. So in here you're going to have your videos pop up. Now this, I find this a bit slow sometimes, as you can see, but again it's connecting, transferring a lot of data in between with all the files that are on it. So what will happen is here the list is going to populate. You're going to have either a blank list going across or one with a lock ones that will auto save, and once you've saved yourself by pressing here. But a lot, depending on the road you're on, you might get a lot of false activations of locking clips due to bumps in the road, but you really need to check your sensitivity settings and so on, and you can kind of eliminate that as best as possible. Depending how fast you go over bumps and so on, it's going to knock it off, and that's just the way it is. All dash cams are the same. So as you can see, it's taking a minute to load. So in your settings here, you have your app settings, upload history, FAQs, instant aware, which you can share your information to your provider, emergency SOS and my dash cam and all the stuff that's in there. So you have your SOS here, so that's basically, it's a 1 year free subscription there, and it will allow you to contact an emergency system, and you'll fill in some medical data in here and your blood type and all that kind of stuff. It's up to you again if you want to share that kind of stuff. And then you're going to have your library here. So what'll happen is here, and you've downloaded, it will be in the library, and when you click onto this here, the list is finally populated. And what you'll do is here, when you go into these, you can open them. It'll give you also a map overview of where the clip has started and finished, which is pretty handy. I went into this in detail in the last video on the 522 if you want to check that out. It's pretty straightforward. Like, this is going to take a couple of minutes to load, because I've been using it heavily for the last couple of days, as you can see. And as I was saying earlier on about the locked icons here, these are standard recordings, and you have locked ones which either I've pressed to save or the dash cam is saved by itself due to settings I've had on the phone and so on. But it's pretty good and straightforward, but it does take a minute to load, so you'll have to have a bit of patience for that. But I've done this in the last video, and basically it's a map, and it'll give you an overlay of where the trip started and ended, which I find pretty cool, and it's great for insurance purposes and so on and anything like that. So you have your other settings here, so you have protected grid and grid, and that's really it. And you have your SOS as well, which I've already discussed. So this being a touch screen makes life a hell of a lot easier. You have your My Nextbase here, so that's all done and set up. You'll get notifications on your phone here, so you have your emergency SOS enabled there, as you can see. You have your video settings, so you have your resolution, which is 720 at 3060 and 1080 at 3060, pretty good. Your exposure, just leave as it is. Your audio and video length, which is 1, 2 and 3 minutes, which is, I've set to 2 this time around. And if you're going to driver assistance, you have SOS and reverse and camera, self-explanatory again. And your setup, again, I've gone through this already. Your parking mode, which is pretty handy, so put that on again. You have recording history, your language, country, time and date, speed unit, screen dimming, device sounds, auto power on and off, and basically that's it. And you can format your SD card in there if you need, which you should do every 2 weeks anyway. You can reset the default settings, and you can keep user settings and your system information there. So it's a 322GW, and you can see that we're charging and what else is going on there. So that's really about it. We're on FAT32 formats, and we've got a pretty good card inside. So overall, it's a pretty good camera, much the same as the 522, except you've got this new forced SOS on it here, which is handy. Something that you'll probably see implemented a lot more, and it's pretty good to see. But again, this is data driven, so again, it's something up to you whether you want to do it or not. Everyone's going to feel different on that aspect of things, so again, it's up to you, but it could save your life. It's kind of a similar idea that insurance companies are doing with tracking devices now as well. Again, not knowing where the data goes after that is a big thing, but that's it. So you've got quick link Bluetooth 4.2, and you can sync to your phone, but as I said, it can take time. This could be device dependent, but for me, I found it slow, and even the same on a previous phone and dash cam. So again, it could be due to the size of the data, because some of these files are 600 megabytes and above, and that's pretty much a big chunk of data to be downloading in that kind of way. So that's really about it. Pretty cool camera, all touch screen. The 122, as I said, is a cheaper option, which is all buttons. Everybody's different. You're free to kind of put this anywhere you want in the vehicle, and it's pretty flexible and it's simple to set up. And this is going to run you around 150 quid. Some of you might say it's too dear, but Nextbase are one of the better, if not one of the best dash cameras there is you can buy. I'll always recommend them. I've tried pretty much all of them bar one or two of the new ones. We've done 3 the new series so far, and you can't really go wrong. And it's basically a product you're just going to stick in the window and leave it there, and just don't do anything until need be, and let it do its job, which it will do. And it's going to someday save you, or again, you could capture something on it you mightn't expect. And compared to the dash cams you're going to see now that are floating around for 20, 30, 40 quid in garages and some auto shops, I wouldn't touch them, because you have a lot of problems later on with them being corrupted. The SD card getting corrupted, they just stop working. Whereas if you spend the money on the likes of this, you're not going to have any problems at all, and you can't really go wrong. Plus of all the other features that you have available. And again, the only thing I still need things to be fixed is the Bluetooth connection here. You can see some of the images haven't even popped up, and they will, but take their time, as you can see there, starting to load. That's the 322 for now. Any questions, techbuzzlearn.com, give us a shout, we'll gladly answer, and see you in the next one. Highly recommend it.
being date these things, but a date gelatin goes out of date. Oh well, yeah.
And then the fuel is the temperature control. So fan assisted, not fan assisted, all of that. That's confusing.
A lot of people know the wrong and I was telling you before I came in that when I was being rescued in Martha's place, I wasn't used to his oven. First day, one of the salon has brownies out there, sort of making them asleep and whatever, they get no time to make more and they get annihilated. Of course they do by Martha rate and show them. So but I'm not used to his oven, so it's very, 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 very unless it's an over, unless it's the truth. So most people know a bit of a hard oven, so I'd always say put on be a little bit cautious and don't do it bad cars. We have bad how high you go.
So air outside going a little bit down.
A little bit, yeah.
And then I made brownies tonight and just with advice to put them on either each down the top.
Yeah.
What happens is they got no, this is all sticky.
Oh yeah, because the malt is sugar from melted. I mean the chocolate is melted. Yeah.
So you put the fewer in the thing that you know it's not.
Is this the relax?
Yeah.
Then you do yeah.
So you need a little thing, 12 by 8.
Yeah.
And you have the roulade especially up there, it's 1.5. And then you do the double white chocolate and dark chocolate.
The white chocolate cream is you boil it up and then you let
And you know, we are separate.
Well, it's better than 1300 or 1000. Is what we're trying to offer reassurance to parents, and we have been told in no uncertain terms by the broker this morning that they are going to work flat out to get the remaining crashes across the line by the end of the year.
One other
But I
question.
certainly, Sean, can I just say, I certainly wasn't